Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Wrestling Therapy. I, of course, am Wasuji, and I am back with another episode. The chair has been filled. John, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Another week, another good week for AEW, and they've got a big show coming up tonight. And they've got going head to head with NXT next week. So both shows are on Tuesday night next week.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. So what did you think of the show last week? Dynamite, I should say.
So with Dynamite, I think they did some good storytelling. The Statlander. I'm glad that they didn't do the what they've done in the past, like a 4-day title reign. I'm glad that they didn't do that. It's not that I really thought they would, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, God, I've been watching wrestling for so long. I've seen these types of quick title changes so many times. Please know this person, like, she's been there since 2019. She's worked her tail off to get to where she is. She deserves more than a friggin' 4-day title reign.
I remember when Rey Mysterio won the title and everything was all good, and then John Cena decided, like, hey, I like a shot at that title tonight. Rey Mysterio didn't leave as champion that night.
No, I remember that. That was, unless I'm mistaken, no, that was when Punk came back to Cult of Personality that night.
Yep.
Because Cena beat Mysterio, and Cena won the world title and was celebrating. And the music started and that, and Cena's like, wait, that's not Del Rio. Like, you can hear him on TV saying that's not Alberto or that's not Del Rio, something like that. And then Punk came out of the back to Cult of Personality, where he had left the company about a month before with the title or whatever.
I don't even think it was that long. I
It
don't
may
think it
have
was.
only been a couple of weeks, yeah, but it wasn't long.
Yeah, that was my only negative. I'm like, damn, like I wish she was gone for, I don't know, a couple months or so. But I mean, it was still a good moment. Obviously, we'll remember it because we're talking about it. What
Yeah,
else happened on
exactly.
Dynamite that curious you or
So
interesting?
they're trying to push the Kyle Fletcher thing. I liked the Kyle Fletcher and hologram angle. That was going to be great. And then on Collision, hologram injures himself, and he's probably out for a year now.
Ooh.
Hologram. So that also they were doing a bit of a evil clone of hologram thing. Like they were showing vignettes of like an evil hologram. And that's obviously not going to happen now with hologram being injured. But Fletcher is still defending his title tonight. But instead of against hologram, it's going to be against the man that returned last week in Orange Cassidy.
But you predicted.
Yeah, I knew the Cassidy was coming back, but yeah, the Kyle Fletcher stuff, that's going to be. I want to see what they do with Fletcher. I really like Fletcher. It's like I think I said last week during the main event of All Out where it was Hangman and Fletcher. The crowd was chanting at Fletcher all the time, like, you're not ready. And he's not. Like, he's not ready for a world title reign as of yet, but he is without a doubt a future world heavyweight champion.
And it's okay not to be ready because when you are, it's gonna be special.
See, this is long-term storytelling for me, but what I would love to see is one way or the other, whichever way they do it. Like Osprey's going to be out till All In next year, so August of 2026. One way or the other, I don't know which way they're going to do it, I would love to see Will Ospreay facing Kyle Fletcher for the world title. One of them winning the title off of the other. Whether it's Ospreay winning it off of Fletcher, or whether it's Ospreay winning the title and Fletcher being the person who eventually takes it off of it. One or the other, because that feud in 2024 to 2025 was one of the best feuds in AEW. They had like 3 or 4 matches against one another, and all of them were just great, great matches, Fletcher and Ospreay.
So it'd be good to go ahead and run that back again.
Oh yeah, like they could run that back no problem when Ospreay comes back.
Now, I heard you mention that NXT and AEW will be going head to head. I know
Yep.
NXT is loading up on their card with the TNA showdown
hmm
with NXT. Um, Briefly, what is your thoughts on the NXT TNA showdown? It's no longer being called Invasion because apparently some people were offended.
I think it reminded people of the 2001 pay-per-view, the WCW versus WWF pay-per-view, that as well.
I mean, I thought that was pretty good too, but
Oh, that was a really good pay-per-view back. Like Invasion 2020 or 2001 was probably one of my favorite pay-per-views around that time with some of the matches they had in that pay-per-view. And that's when Austin turned on the WWF as well.
don't trust the rattlesnake.
No. But I like what they're doing. The only thing that I find kind of weird is the Kalani Jordan stuff right now. Now, yes, I get Kalani is the TNA Knockouts champion right now, but she's on NXT just about every week, and now you have her running Team TNA. You know, it doesn't make sense to me in a way that Kalani is the person running Team TNA. Um, I think maybe it should have been somebody like an Indy Hartwell, or I know
Moxley
Masha
probably.
Slamovich has been in the news like recently with all of her I think it was abuse charges or something like
Oh,
that.
the
But
domestic.
yeah,
No.
yeah. And I think that's part of why they steered away from using her in the match, because they didn't want that type of publicity in that match.
That's fair. I mean, you could have gone with Andy, like you said. Um,
Yeah.
do you now?
Um,
Do you
yeah,
think?
go ahead.
Do you think personally that AEW and versus NXT is going to be a good thing for either show?
It's hard to say. What AEW is doing, they're calling it Title Tuesday. So that means they're going to have like a lot of titles on the line. They might have like the tag titles on the line. Fletcher might be defending it again. Things like that. I don't know all the matches yet. We'll probably find out some of them in the next couple of hours. But Title Tuesday versus NXT, they're both going to be on basically free TV. Well, the AEW will be on free TV. For people in the US, they would have to pay for NXT on Peacock or whatever. Outside of the US, they'd be paying for it on Netflix. So it'll be interesting to see. If anything, I think it's going to hurt NXT, the fact that AEW has moved it to Title Tuesday night.
Okay, that's a fair prediction to go with. I always think competition is healthy for brands. It's there's nothing wrong with a little competition. I seen a thing earlier on TikTok, and it was talking about Vince McMahon, and it was naming some of the things that when Vince McMahon was running the company were better than the current regime. And I found it to be interesting because one of them was theme songs. Um, Personally, I feel like WWE's theme songs as of late are trash. Like a lot of them. Like I remember back in the day, like you know who was coming out. Like you hear the glass break or the car crash, or APA. Like you didn't have to look. You knew who was coming out. Now it's like you hear a
Yeah.
song, you're like, who's that? Do you agree with that or disagree?
I agree. I would say even a few years ago, WWE did great with their theme songs. Now, some of it was like NXT based theme songs. You have like the Johnny Gargano Rebel Heart back when he was like the big baby face in NXT, and Tommaso Ciampa, the
No
No One Will
one will
Survive.
survive.
Survive. Yeah, that was one of the better ones in NXT. Bobby Roode, Glorious.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You haven't seen Nakamura in a while, but his theme is always really good. I didn't like when they kind of tried to add the Japanese lyrics and stuff into it for a while
Really,
for like the yeah, I didn't like that part of it.
I liked it. I was like, I don't know. I, me personally, I always thought Gender had really good music too.
Oh, Jinder, yeah,
The modern day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal. I
Jinder
like that.
Mahal, yeah, Jinder Mahal, the man who beat Randy Orton to win a world heavyweight championship.
Wasn't on my bingo card.
Nope.
Speaking of bingo card, we
Yeah.
cannot forget to talk about the important thing that happened. Do you know what that important thing that happened was?
I'm not sure on that one.
The important thing that happened was the greatest intercontinental champion,
Oh,
the
Dom.
greatest Mysterio, Dirty Dom, two belt Dom retained against
Yeah,
Rusev all by
he
himself
did.
in a nice clean victory. I was happy with it.
Yeah, it was. It was a clean match. It was pretty good. I mean, the low blow was a little, but it is what it is.
But see, what happened was he had caught a cramp in his leg. So he was like, oh, shit, cramp. And he just kind of like, it was just an accident, but whatever. Um, Speaking of
Yeah.
that, looks like we have Crown Jewel coming up that's seeming to be shaping
Yep.
up. We had Roman Reigns
It,
return.
yeah. It
Oh,
seems like we're getting Penta versus Dom coming up, so that's gonna be a good match.
I want to backtrack and talk about Roman for a second. So Roman came back, destroyed the bronze per usual, and him and Jay were having a conversation, and Jimmy seemed to be on the outside of that conversation. Do you see some type of do you feel Roman is going to be the reason Jay turns just like Roman, which Roman was this big heel for
Yeah.
a while. Do you see that happening? What do you predict for that current storyline?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like I think the Jey Uso Yeet stuff, it was great for a while, but he needs something to re-energize his career or whatever. Like he needs a bit of a restart. And something like a heel turn would be a great thing for Jay, I think. It would be interesting to see what happens. Because, I mean, the fans turned from booing Dominic Mysterio out of the building like a year ago to now cheering for him every single match. It's the fans are what drives this wrestling business. If the fans like you, you're great. If the fans don't like you, then if you're a good guy and the fans don't like you, then there's a problem.
Yeah, if you heard that pop that he got yesterday when Dom came out, you would think he was a babyface in this match, and it's kind of refreshing to see, even though a guy is still playing the heel, that he could be appreciated, that he's so still universally loved. It's like, yeah, everybody loves Dom. Like, it's Dom. Like, yeah, when he started, yeah, it was goofy. I mean, he was young. He was getting his feet wet, but I think he has improved immensely from when he was getting beat with kendo sticks,
Oh,
with Seth,
yeah,
to now.
in ring, he is so much better in ring. And I mean, even on the mic, he's getting better on the mic too, but in ring, he is light years ahead of where he was.
I can agree with that 100%. All right, I have a little game that I thought of and wanted to see if you wanted to play.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, I'm going to give you 5 people, and you're just going to tell me your honest opinion of these 5 people. All right, first person, we're going to go with, let's see, Hook.
So I think Hook is a very interesting one. I think he needs a lot of character development. I think he needs a lot of mic work. He's still very raw and very young, but in a way, I'm a little worried that Hook is always going to be in his father's shadow.
How do you think he could break out from that?
See, for that, eh, I think he'd almost need to be in the middle of the ring, like in Philly or somewhere where Taz was really huge, and be in the ring with his father, and then all of a sudden Hook takes out his father, kind of like the Dominic and Rey Mysterio stuff. But they'd need to do something to get Hook away from the being compared to his father or like always being in his father's shadow, if that makes sense.
No, it does. Okay, that's an interesting analysis. Let's go with Stephanie Velcro, or Stephanie Velcro, according to Naomi.
So Stephanie is the future of the women's division in WWE. She is already the world champion. I could see her holding that for a very long time. I could see her having matches with people like, oh, I don't know, Lola Vice or people in NXT that haven't been called up yet for years to come. I could see Stephanie having like a 15-year career and passing Charlotte's world title number.
It's a lofty number, but she is very talented. I wish she would wrestle more. I do wish she would wrestle more. All
Yeah.
right, third person. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, the Young Bucks.
So the Bucks have kind of a little bit grown on me. I used to think that the Young Bucks were all they were was super kicks. Like that was it. But the more I watch their matches, the more I see the way that they work with other people. Yes, they do a lot of super kicks and stuff, but they can also be funny as hell at times. Like the whole losing when they lost to Swerve and Osprey, the whole no entrance music, everything like that.
Hmm.
That whole gimmick for a while, that was hilarious for a little while. The where they were trying to get their music back and everything like that.
Didn't they come out at one point to like their first music?
Yeah, they said they wanted their music back, and they were told they'd get their music back, and then they came out to their very first theme song where they were called, I think it was Generation Me was the name of the tag team when they very first started. And then there was another time, it was actually at Forbidden Door. They came out to Hanson's Bop, which was, I guess, another former entrance music of theirs.
Ah, the Young Bucks. All right, next one, Fallon Henley.
Um, I wish they would do more with her. I think that she has the capability of being a very good mid card wrestler. I don't think she's like a women's world champion level, but I think she's like a North American champion level like she had before. She's could be like a US champion, intercontinental champion, things like that. The heel cowgirl gimmick, it works, but I think she also needs to break away from JC Jane in order to make her own name in this business.
You know who she kind of reminds me of? Eve Torres.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
And like I think it was the match either last night or a couple weeks ago that she had. I was like, she really reminds me of Eve Torres, like a lot. All right,
Yeah,
and the last one we are going to do someone that hasn't been on TV for a long time, Keith Lee.
um, okay, for a guy his size to be that athletic is incredible. I was a huge Keith Lee fan was he when he was in NXT. Um, I mean, I loved that gimmick, but unfortunately, the problem with Keith Lee is with his size, he is so injury prone. Like he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And that's been the problem with Keith Lee. And actually, before Adam Cole left WWE, there was a rumor that they wanted to bring Adam Cole up to the main roster and make him Keith Lee's manager.
I did see that. That sounded like a Vince McMahon idea.
Yeah, very
That was
much so.
one of the bad Vince McMahon ideas he had.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean we got exciting things coming up. So far the Crown Jewel card looks like we have AJ Styles versus Cena, Stephanie versus Tiffany, Seth versus Cody, Rhea and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors. Do
Yep.
you see them adding any more matches? And out of the current matches that are there, which one is the most interesting to you?
So I think the most interesting is going to be the Stephanie and Tiffany because it's going to be showing who the face is of this women's division. Cody and Seth been there, done that several times. We don't need another episode or another Cody and Seth match. The Rhea and Io against Kabuki Warriors, I'm kind of mid on. It could be great, but you never know. Styles and Cena one last time. That's a great match. The match that I think will get added will be either Jimmy and Jay or Roman and Jay against Bronson and Braun. I
Ugh.
think that will get added to Crown Jewel.
But we just saw that.
Yep,
I,
I know, right?
I would much if they're going to add a Roman match, which I almost 100% believe they will at this point. They want to bring it back.
Yeah, he's been advertised for the show apparently.
I would like for them to do Roman versus Bronson again in like a no disqualification match.
Yeah,
and
Okay.
maybe Bronson goes over because Jimmy tries to
Yeah.
help, or Roman tries to help Jimmy or something like that, and
Yeah.
Bronson takes advantage just to get
Yeah.
Bronson to win and kind of further the narrative of Jimmy is just in the way of Jay's
Yeah.
success. I just
Yep.
hope they don't run Jay and Jimmy again because their WrestleMania match wasn't that good. It wasn't good at all.
Yeah. No. And I mean tonight now we've got 2.5 hours of Dynamite coming up in about an hour's time. They got some good matches. You've got the Kyle Fletcher versus Orange Cassidy match, which will be a good thing. You've got the Don Callis family, so I believe it's like Josh Alexander, Takeshita, and Okada up against Brodito and Kenny Omega, so Omega's back.
Okay. I know he was gone after
You've
that match.
Yeah, he was gone for a bit, and then they've got Statlander and Darby against Wheeler Yuta and Marina. I think it's Wheeler and Marina. I forget who it is, but it's a mixed tag match with like Statlander and Darby and Wheeler, and I think it's Marina. And then they've got also the Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Hangman Adam Page up against Moxley, Claudio, and Pac, I believe it is.
Okay.
So they've got some pretty good matches. Tony Storm's supposed to have a segment, and Jurassic Express is supposed to make their return tonight as well. So they'll be in the ring for the first time since All Out.
I know
And
the big one was sick for a while. I'm glad he's back.
Luchasaurus, yeah,
Luchasaurus, yeah, I know he
he
was.
had double pneumonia, I think it was.
Yeah, it's good to see him back and healthy
Yeah,
again.
yeah, I will tell you that pop when Jurassic Express reunited at All Out, that arena just was going crazy. And for like it was like three different pops all within about 30 seconds. Because there was the pop when Luchasaurus saved Perry from the Bucks and choke slammed them. Then there was a pop when he threw the kill switch belt out into the crowd. Then there was a pop when the two of them started hugging. And then, like 10 seconds later, the Tarzan boy started playing. And oh my God, I have never heard an arena that loud as when Tarzan boy started playing and everybody was singing along.
So, do you think they got the biggest pop of the night?
Oh, no question. No question. People loved the fact that Jurassic Express was back.
I like Jurassic Express. I did. I did enjoy them. They were
You
entertaining.
know, yeah, a buddy of mine used to always rag on me years ago because I was a big Jungle Boy fan. Like I said, like I see a lot of potential in Jungle Boy. And he's like, "How? Like the guy can't wrestle. Like he's done nothing in the ring." And I'm like, "Just wait. Like I see a lot of potential in this guy." And he's like, "Okay." And it was funny because he actually ended up being at All Out too. And he did message me right away and he's like, "Wow, that was kind of a cool moment." And I'm like, "Yep,
Told
yeah,
you.
it was." Yeah,
That, it's always great when you have your backing on somebody and then they finally like just flourish. Like for me, I'm a big Nikita Lyons fan, so I'm just waiting for her to flourish, and when she does, I'll be like, yes.
yeah. I mean, Jungle Boy is was one of my favorites back then. Um, right now, I would say my favorite right now, and I don't think it's going to change even with the injury. I think Osprey is still my guy. I don't think that's going to change in the next year with him being out.
That's a tall order if they do. If somebody does change that for you.
It is. But if anybody does, it would be somebody like a Kyle Fletcher, somebody like a Konosuke Takeshita, somebody like that. One of those two, probably, if anybody.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. Well, I think that is all we had time for. I know AE is getting ready to start soon. Um, is there anything else you would like to say to further hype AEW show tonight? And next week we could talk about the AEW versus NXT a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely. If we're doing it on the Wednesday night again, then we have kind of the recap of what happened the night before, and that's kind of. But I will say this: if anybody's ever been looking for something to find like AEW or a way to find the AEW or find certain people. Like if you've never watched it before, you don't know what or anything about any of these people. Search matches like Will Ospreay versus Hangman Page, or even Hangman Page versus Kyle Fletcher from All Out. Like those are some of the matches that will get you into AEW. I think one of the big ones for me was, it's hard to believe it, but over 4 years ago now, the Young Bucks against oh, what were they called now?
Lucha
Lucha
Bros
Bros. Yes, Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros in that the cage match or whatever for the tag titles. Yeah,
with the spikes on the bottom of his feet.
yep,
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was good. But thank you for joining us. I appreciate your time. And if anybody ever wants to be on the episode with me, let me know. Or if you want to do an episode with somebody else to debate some things wrestling, that can be arranged. Message me on the Book of Face, the Tube of You, the Talk Tick, the Instaflam, all that fun jazzy stuff will be attached. But with John, once again, thank you, man. I hope you enjoy some AEW. Everybody stay
yeah,
safe, stay blessed,
yes.
and have a happy, happy Wednesday.